Hey, it's Eric here, Peachtree Classic Cars and a 1964 Chevrolet C-10 step side pickup truck, short bed with the spare tire on the side. This is a cool old farm truck and I'm excited about showing it to you guys, taking it for a quick drive. I did not pull the numbers on the block. It does have a late model 6-cylinder, or at least later model than original. So it was upgraded with a 6-cylinder and a 5-speed manual transmission, which has been put on the floor. Now the original steering column here for the 3-speed on the column is still available. Idiot lights work. And then we've got the oil pressure gauge, which is working, and voltage meter, and I believe the temp gauge is also hooked up. See that oil gauge go up. I guess we go ahead and go for a little drive here. Oh wait, how about if we put it in gear? It always works better that way. So actually having a 5-speed on the floor in one of these old trucks is awesome. To me, amazing upgrade. Just get a higher speed out of it, just a smoother shift. I mean, you have a more modernized drivetrain than that original 64. So, although I'm always madly in love with the originals. So now she drives nice and straight. I'm gonna say very minimal, if no wander at all. So maybe that much right there. Very, very little. It appears that the fuel gauge is working. I put about 3 gallons of gas in it before I took this drive just to be sure, and the needle did go up. The speedometer is not hooked up. Down here around this cul-de-sac and see if we can find a place to stop and take a look at the rest of the vehicle. So keep in mind, like I said, I'm driving this with one hand while I steer. You know, with one hand because I've got my hand on the camera. So it's got a power booster on the brakes, which is awesome. I'm hoping that I may be parked just level enough. It does not have, as is common with many of these old trucks, it does not have the emergency brake hooked up. In fact, the emergency brake handle is not there. Okay, so one of the things I absolutely adore about this truck, it was a big, nice surprise for me when we cranked it up the first time. It's got dual exhaust. I want to say it sounds like, oh, we got the turn signal on. It sounds like a little V8, like the 283 V8s that they used to put in the, back in the early, late 50s and early 60s, a little 283. So it just sounds fantastic. I want to say, I think I can open this. Oh yeah, nice and easy. And like I said, you've actually got dual exhaust, true dual exhaust right here. Really, really cool. Great. Healthy sounding engine. And since we don't have an e-brake, I am definitely going to park it in gear so it doesn't roll away on us. Yeah, I love the sound of the engine. I mean, gosh, it sounds awesome. Inner fender wells are in great shape. It's a minimal rust truck. Got a few little spots here and there, but I mean, cool. Kind of got a doled out, probably single stage paint is kind of what it looks like. But what I love about this truck is it's doled out from bumper to bumper, all 100% consistently. So it's just got this amazing consistent patina on it. Hood looks great. The front of the hood, so here's all your little rusty spots. Got the front of the hood all the way across. And I wouldn't be me if I didn't say, like I usually do, if it was my truck, what would I do with it? And that is, if with this particular truck, if this was mine, I'd put a radio in it, some seat belts, and I'd drive it, because I wouldn't want to fix any of the rust on this truck because it's so minimal. It just lends to the original patina of it. So we walk around it, the body's super straight. Little rust bubbles down here at the bottom and the bottom of the door. Couple tiny little spots there. Step side's in good shape. Little paint crack here on the side, the driver's side rear fender. And also want to point out, I believe this is a 66 bed, or at least 66 fenders that may have been put on, because it has the reverse lights in the fenders. They're not hooked up, but they are there. Tailgate looks good, a little dented like it was, you know, used as a work truck. But actually the bed of this truck is in pretty good shape. The flaking here is just some bed liner that was sprayed in a long time ago and has just become unflaked. If you really wanted to, you could hit it with a wire wheel and clean it up and re-bed liner it pretty easily. The tailgate looks amazing. Again, like I said, very consistent patina all the way across. A couple little typical dents that you would see in a work truck on top of the bed rails. Sides of the bed look awesome. Step side looks good. Little paint crack there with a touch of just surface rust underneath that. Bottom of the door here, a couple little spots. And just like the other side, this is really common. And again, like I said, believe it or not, if this is my truck, quite frankly, I might even be considered just hitting that with a little sandpaper by hand, roughing it up and making it look a little more rusty, and then maybe putting a little matte clear coat over it or something afterwards. But man, I just absolutely adore the original patina of these trucks like this. So one thing I noticed too is the bumper on this side's just a hair higher, if you notice, than this. Would be probably a really easy adjustment. We didn't do a whole lot to this truck, because when we got it, just runs good and drives good, and we just wanted to let it go on to the next person and decide what you want to do with it, guy or gal. In fact, what's funny is I got a phone call from a lady the other day. She said, "You always say hey guys in your videos, you never say hey ladies." So hey ladies, this is your truck right here, baby blue. This thing's awesome. I have a wife and 2 daughters in their 20s, and they would absolutely adore driving this thing. So anyways, please give us a call. You don't just have to be a guy to drive a classic truck. So we've got these old wheels with some crust on them, and again, you know, it's tempted to say maybe I'll put some brand new hubcaps on there or even swap the wheels, and I thought, you know, I don't want to do that, because these are old chrome wheels that have original, you know, rust and patina on them. The tires appear to be older. They have some good tread left on them, but they're old. You know, so I would say if it was mine and I was driving it around the farm around town, I'd probably keep driving on these tires. If I was going to go for a nice, really long extended drive at higher speeds, I'd be thinking about putting new tires on it. Inside, you've got some surface rust and crusties and stuff like this. Is like a buildup, really, of dirt. Georgia red clay, if you will. Really, really solid. A little spot there where it's been patched on the inside. Bottom of the door's got a couple of spots there. Not rusted all the way through. Right here is a little rusted all the way through, but bottom of the door overall is really solid. Looks like a little bit of fiberglass patch right there being done actually across the rocker. So the cool thing is these rockers and all these parts are really easy to come by online. Lots of online catalogs. Little spot of rust here and here. But these are the original cab corners. At least it appears they are. I mean, that looks amazing. And then yes, you can see this fiberglass was done to just leave the original floor pan, one little spot in there in the support rail. But other than that, I mean, these frame rails are awesome. And we see this a lot. People want to just not cut anything out and just leave it, so they put some fiberglass in it. It happens. It's not my favorite, but it is solid. It'll hold up. Step side on this side. Yeah, so as far as being a survivor, I mean, these floor pans are in great shape. On this side, like I said, you know, the patch is there, kind of reiterating that. But, I mean, the rest of these frame rails are in great shape. Springs look great. All the frame looks good. I think it looks like it might have even Flowmaster exhaust. Probably why it sounds so great. Inside the driver's side rear fender well. And even your spare tire well, it looks good there. Couple of little crusties and surface rust, but all appears to be superficial. Underneath the back, I mean, these are the original inner fender wells in the back. They look incredible for their age. And you know, for the condition of this truck, it's got new pressure treated wood in the back. I like that addition, you know, it's never gonna rot. Looks like somebody replaced the brake lines along the way. Those appear to be newer than original. There's still some, you know, surface rust, they're not brand new. Rear passenger side fender well. Yeah, it's really clean under here. Passenger side front fender well. Let the camera adjust. And a little bit of rust here on the floor pan. Again, a little fiberglass patch there. And I see it, like I said, I see it a lot. It's understandable. It's not the way that we do things. I would have done a steel patch, or actually, so the thing is, this piece right here I think is about $45 from LMC, and then of course you do have to weld it in, but any reasonable welder shouldn't be charging you so much. 50, 60 bucks an hour maybe, maybe 80 bucks an hour max, but this is still a 1 or 2 hour job. So in other words, it's not like my welder would, you know, probably charge me 100 bucks to do that plus the cost of the part. Let's open up the door, the bottom of the doors. So the bottom of this door is actually in a little bit better condition than the other one. These original weep holes look good. A little bit of cracking, but overall, it's rust free. So I'm pointing out all the rusty spots because there are a little few here and there, but overall, especially with the condition being kind of, you know, survivor farm truck, I mean, this thing is in exceptional condition. So it's got an old seat cover on it that's kind of wrinkly. Oh, it does have seat belts in it. See, I said something about putting seat belts in it. Oh yeah, it's got the 3-way belts on it, plus the middle belts. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, we don't always get to drive these a whole lot. I've only driven this truck a couple of times, you know, before we end up putting them up for sale. So sometimes even while I'm doing these video inspections, I'm in real time discovering things and finding things, which I really like. Up under the front end, you've got some, you know, grease and stuff like that, just from old oil. It hasn't been detailed. But again, I don't see evidence of rust on the frame or any of the suspension parts. There's your dual exhaust system there. That's so cool. I just love that. On these 6 cylinders, they sound awesome. So we go inside. One of the things I do think that needs to be done, I would pull this horn button off. The horn's not working anyway, I don't think. Yeah, horn's not working anyways. The steering wheel's just a little loose, and there's a grommet that goes on inside of here where you pull this off and actually just tighten it down. And I would do that, and you know, it drives nice and straight, but just the column itself is loose in this spot. I've seen that many times, and that's always been an easy fix to tighten down the bolt that's underneath here. The seat is older, and it's kind of, the padding's worn out. It's got a tear in the side. You know, you probably could unbuckle the hog rings on this and repad it and put it back in if you wanted to keep, because the top of this seat's not ripped. I know this side piece is, but I love this farm truck look, so I like that kind of more originality of the fact that I like the idea of trying to maybe keep this seat cover. So we showed you the gauges before. Somebody cut a pretty big hole before for like a CD player, like an 80s or 90s model CD player, and so there's just a little patch of aluminum over that. And then somebody had drilled out the original panels here, unfortunately, with like a shut-off switch and stuff. So we just replaced this with these gauges, made sure that they were functional. And yeah, looks like that temp gauge is going up now. So the glove box does work, and it has a glove box in it. It does have a hole in the back like that, but the glove box is in there. And I don't think we have a heater switch, but I'm just going to double check. Okay, yeah, so there's a switch here. I don't know what it does. I was hoping it might have been the heater. Nope. Well, there you have it. 64 Chevrolet step side, and super cool truck. I mean, I'm gonna call this a farm truck for me. And now that I found those seatbelts in there, that's just so funny that we didn't take it for a drive and put our seatbelts on. Just because we're not used to these things having seatbelts in them. So anyways, well, give us a call. This is a super cool farm truck. PeachTreeClassicCars.com. We look forward to hearing from you.